Have you ever found yourself in a relationship and thought, wait, is this normal? Or maybe you've wondered, are they a narcissist? Karen Maldonado and Tyler King are talking about the red flags, the manipulation, the things we'd wished we'd seen sooner, and what it looks like to find truth, healing, and hope on the other side. So take us along for your drive, your walk, or your morning run, and let's talk about it. Welcome to Narcissist, I'm Asking for a Friend.
So Karen, oh my gosh, so many things. We're coming off some great episodes, and I just want to fill some people in. We talked about boundaries before, but I kind of want to go a little bit deeper into that because I feel like that is one of the main things that people struggle with. Now, you've had clients in the past, you're dealing with people now. What happens when you finally set a boundary with a narcissist? And I'm going to give you an example, like when you set a boundary and then you start to get the pushback. What is happening right there so that our viewers and if you've done the pushback, let us know as she's talking about it.
Right. Well, the pushback is their fight back to gain control, because when anyone tries to exercise any type of reasonable request that is a boundary in a normal situation, it's something that can be discussed and compromised. But because there is no compromise with a true narcissist, you are going to get pushed back because that has to do with their fear of losing control.
Yes.
So, and I think about it too, a person that's raised maybe in a situation, we talked in the past about how narcissists become narcissists, it's usually because they were neglected. Sometimes by no fault of the parent, especially if you're dealing with a single parent household. Now that parent is having to work and the kid might feel neglected because it's all about their perspective, right? So they may not be really neglected, but because maybe their parent has to be absent for work a lot, and that makes them feel like they have to care for themselves. And so, however it's developed, though, there's three main ways, but there are, other features that come in that cause it. They did not feel like they had any control over the situation of their life as a child. Mom has to go to work, dad has to go to work. I'm here by myself. Oh, I cut my finger with the knife cutting an apple. I have to put the Band-Aid on. They learn to self-soothe. They learn that they have to fend for themselves. And so when it happens that they grow up in this kind of environment where they feel like they've got to take care of number one, then they end up in relationships and they want that person to also put them on that, level in their mind that they got to take care of them. They got to everything. It has to be all about them, right?
So do they kind of put the partner as like they take on the role as the caretaker, and they're expecting the expectations that they impress upon them are as what they would expect from a caretaker to have done for them?
Right.
Okay.
Right. That's a part of it. And then also now they couldn't control that mom had to work. They couldn't control that dad had to work. But in this situation, they're not giving up control anymore because they had no control back then. They need control now. I want to make sure that I have somebody always in my corner, 24/7, and it's got to be the way I want it. And because I didn't have it then, it's almost like an entitled feeling too, that you're going to take care of me. And so, the pushback for them is they're fearful of losing control. So they're scared that it's going to go back to what they had as a child, which was they were by themselves.
Wow. So they kind of go overboard really with the control.
Yeah, and they didn't have a parent there when they were developing to correct them in their wrong thinking either. So there's things that, when we do or say things that are just not socially acceptable, our parents will correct us, right?
But
you have a kid that's raising themselves basically, and then they feel like, they can do this, and they might get frowned by the neighborhood people, or they might get looked at by the teachers like, or corrected by the teachers, but that may not be enough to set them, like a parent would have more say in their lives, that might not be enough to set them on a pattern of healthy thinking. So they
Healthy.
don't make sense in a lot of what they think and say to the people that they are now living with, because oftentimes they didn't learn it. So now you've got somebody that's emotionally immature trying
Yes.
to control your life.
Right. They're so emotionally immature. And then they say and do things that make you look like in their immaturity. And they make it seem like you're the bad guy, right? So they
Exactly.
try to, so that's the next one that I'm coming across, is the guilt trips, is that they try to make you feel guilty when you do try to call them out, or you try to address something that's not right. So what do you see there? Like they do something.
Yeah, they'll say that you're a drama king or a drama queen because
Mhm.
you're always, what's wrong with you? You're such a drama queen, because you get upset at something that they do, which is obviously
Right.
inappropriate or obviously wrong thinking.
Yeah.
They make you, so here you are thinking that you're going to have a conversation about
Mhm.
what you just complained about, which you have
Right.
every right to complain about. But instead, this is where the confusion they cause for the person comes in. They now change the subject, and it's not about what you just said was a problem. It's your drama is the problem. You having anything to
Right.
say about what I do with my behavior is the problem. So,
Right.
and then you're left there, like, what?
Right. The very fact that you're even complaining about anything or having an issue,
Or having an
ha-
opinion.
having an opinion is now drama to them. That is
Yep.
now the drama.
Yep.
Ah. So then what ends up happening when you do something and now they're upset with you, and then they just go cold silent on you?
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, what in the world is going on? And I know you've probably had situations where you talk with people in the past where that has happened. What does that look like? So a person that may be going through that, they can identify it and say, oh, so that's what was happening.
Right. And so, usually because, what we'll tell, therapists or people will tell people that are living with a person like that, it's like, enjoy the quiet. If they're gray rocking you, the
Right.
gray rock is, you don't get a response from a gray rock, right? So if they're giving
Yeah.
you silent treatment, they're gray rocking you, right?
Yeah.
You would think, oh, well, this is peace for me, so I should just be happy with it and be calm. But they know when to gray rock you. They
Yeah.
know it's when you usually need something.
Right. Because maybe you need an answer for something and you're like, hey, I need
Exactly.
you to come with me to do this, or I have this doctor's appointment. And, it could be
Exactly.
something where
Yeah.
you need a person to pick you up, where,
Right.
some
You need to
appointment.
go food shopping and you need money.
Yeah, and you need money, right? And or something's going on with the kids and you're tied up with the work,
Mhm.
and you've been trying to get them to confirm that they're going to be able to get the time away to pick up the kids
Exactly.
or to do whatever, and they're just not saying anything.
Yes, they choose
Just like
their
me.
time of silent treatment very, very carefully. And they
Yeah,
make sure it's not when they need anything from you. It's got to
right.
be when you need something from them. And because they set themselves up to be in control of the finances, you are
Right.
now, under their thumb waiting for them to come out of this thing. And so you tiptoe around them and you hope
Yeah.
that, they'll all of a sudden decide to be nice. But they're really, what they're waiting for is for you to grovel and beg for the thing that they know you need.
And that's the supply that they're looking for, is
Exactly.
groveling.
Right. And when you do that, that begins to open the door for them to feel entitled to rage at you, because now they've been quiet,
Yeah.
but they know you're going to break the silence because you need them to
Yeah.
answer something, right? And so
Hmm.
now finally you say, I need this or whatever. And then they continue to gray rock you. And it's like, listen, I got it. I got to put food in the house. And then they start raging at you because you're even disturbing their peace. And
Right.
oh, now you want to talk to me now because you need something from me. You're such a
Right.
narcissist. And they will turn it around and say, you're the narcissist.
Oh yeah,
You
absolutely.
only are nice to me when you need something. So,
Right.
they're very good at turning the whole thing around and making it look like you are the crazy person that you know,
Yeah.
does it make sense or whatever. So yeah, it's tricky because you're trying to navigate with somebody that has emotional immaturity, does not know how to have a decent disagreement, maybe conversation. Absolutely, they don't know how to do that in a peaceable way unless there's a secondary gain for that. So
Unless
full-fledged narcissists will never accept that they were ever wrong.
right. And that's true. And that's a sign right there. And then when you see that, viewers, you got to make the decision from there. If you're going to counseling or if you're seeing that they're never taking any type of ownership, accountability, nothing's ever their fault, and this has been going on for some time, it's like you have to kind of make some decisions there. It's like we can point the finger at the narcissist but for so long, and at some point we kind of have to look at ourselves and ask ourselves, why are we staying and accepting this type of treatment and
Yes.
behavior?
Yes. It's
Yeah.
toxic. It's toxic. It's so unhealthy. It's a really unhealthy environment for you to be in. You're probably high anxiety all the time,
Yes.
adrenal failure. You're going to have all kinds of issues in your physical body later in life
Yes.
because of it. So you want to make sure that you do what you can to allow peace to come into your life. And blessed are the peacemakers, and you may be
Yeah.
a peacemaker. If you're with a narcissist, most likely you are the peacemaker in all situations in that relationship. But
Yeah.
it gets to the point where you're making peace, but you're not the one enjoying the peace.
I mean, it's only so much your body can take physically. You know what I mean?
Yes.
What would you say is a boundary versus a wall? Like, you're trying to get that healthy protection versus shutting people out. What does that look like?
Mm-hmm. Well, a wall is no contact, basically.
Oh,
That's I'm done gray rocking you in the same four walls. I
yeah.
am going to have to move out,
Mhm.
and we are not going to be together anymore. And the wall, you just cannot penetrate it anymore. You've totally lost your ability to have contact with me because there is no reasoning with you. I've tried and I've tried. You won't listen. You won't go to counseling. You won't do these things. After you give enough second, third, fourth, 100th chances,
Yeah.
you eventually get tired enough of it that you do lose respect for the person. And
Yeah.
if there were good feelings for the person, they pretty much melted away because of their undoing of everything in the marriage or the
Yeah.
relationship. So you then have to just decide, well, um, I'm going to be in a lot better, a lot more peaceful environment with the
Mhm.
person out of my life, and
Right.
I'm going to move forward without them. So that's a wall. And I
Yeah.
don't know if that's specifically what you were thinking, but boundaries are basically where you still are giving opportunity for this person to be a normal person that has normal conversations with you, but you do have a boundary. I won't tolerate you yelling in my face, turning all red this far away from me and yelling in my face. I
Yeah.
won't tolerate you having affairs. I
Right.
won't tolerate you blaming me when you do things wrong because somehow I caused you to do it.
Right. Or
So
blaming you for
there's
having
got to
this.
be, yeah, boundaries are basically saying, I will no longer tolerate
Right.
this. The wall says, you will no longer have a right to this.
Mm. Yeah, that's so good. I mean, your wall is, I've had it up to here, I'm done. There's like, you have totally just, I am so through and done.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that I would like to touch on when it comes to that is, what do you need to be mindful of? Because when you get to that point, that scares the narcissist to a degree, doesn't it? Because when
Oh,
they
yeah.
know you've had it up to here,
If they really love the person,
yeah.
and when I say really love the way that they know how to love, they don't know how to love.
Yeah, they don't know how to love.
Right.
It's what
But
they
they go into a panic when they think that they're going to lose that person if they are really still thinking of that person as their person, if you know what I mean. I want that person under my control. That's the person that I want to make sure is always thinking about me, always taking care of my needs, that kind of thing.
Right.
As opposed to the person that, maybe on the outside in their life that they're starting to become interested in. That now, that person may be taking on some of these things because this person's setting them up for it. So
Right.
I'm not talking about like an affair situation or a emotional affair situation. So maybe he or she is, checking out the person at work and thinking, oh, maybe this person and I could get together, So, and then this person starts trying to exercise rights,
right,
and be strong and not weak, right? And
right.
figure out how they can make it work. Meanwhile, this person's losing interest in this one. And already ready to put somebody in that place. So you might exercise what you think is going to be good and turn around to be something that is actually not what you wanted, or maybe an easy way out. You may say, all right, I know I'm ready. I know I'm sick of it. So I'm going to let them know I'm exercising this idea of moving out or whatever. And then the person, depending on how they feel about it now, if you are still their person, they will freak out. They may rage at first, thinking that raging before has always gotten her under tow, or raging with him has gotten him to listen to me. So that may be what they'll try, but then, you're still going to be strong.
Right.
Or they'll freak out and they'll start to love bomb you and start to do the things the way that they should have been doing it all along. They know how to do all the things they should be doing.
Oh, yeah.
But they're not going to do them unless they have to. So,
right.
And then they will, if there is no one else, then they will do what they have to do because they don't want to lose you.
They don't want to lose you because it's almost like it's that secondary game. Does it go into that again? It's that you're that person they want, and they're afraid of losing you, so they're gonna do the love bombing to get you back in, like all the things you've been asking them to do forever that they've never done. Because it's like, okay, I will love bomb enough to have you lower your defenses again, see what I'm doing.
It becomes a cycle. And then eventually, gradually, they see, oh, okay, she's happy again with me. We're laughing together. We're doing things together. It's looking too good. It's time to squash the bug. So
that's sometimes where they, and I don't know why this has come to my spirit. So somebody out here, you need to speak to me if this is you. Is that sometimes when they could possibly try to have children with you, or all of a sudden have this idea that they want to have another child?
Yeah, a lot of times that is the tactic of a narcissist to keep the person trapped, is have kids with them, because they know the more kids they have with you, the less chance it is that you're going to leave them, because they've got you so financially bound, stuck in the house, away from people, everything that they want. It just increases that opportunity for them.
Yeah, and then that child then becomes a weapon that they can use now. So that's like another tool in their arsenal to use against you.
Exactly.
Interesting. So, that was a whole lot. Now, what about the crying? What about the, I'm going to boo-hoo to the counselor about you and how you're the mean person, or I'm going to boo-hoo to you because I'm going to try to keep you. Do you see that tactic being used, like the trying to...
whatever might work.
Whatever will work, right?
Yeah, whatever will work to keep you, if that's what they're trying to do. Always, and the tears, tears, hoping to pull on your heartstrings so they don't even have to go to counseling or get anybody involved. And but that may be the boundary that you put in place. I will consider staying if you'll go to counseling. No counseling, no marriage. No counseling, no staying in the same household. We're going to live separate. So
how would you say you can stay open without being vulnerable to manipulation?
But if they've already broken trust with you, like let's say that you've shared, a weakness that you have, and this happens,
or maybe something private about your past.
And now to paint a picture of you in front of others, they may actually tell your secret. So
Mhm.
now you cannot trust that person that you are in relationship with because they don't keep your secret a secret. They don't respect you to a point where they'll know that that's just not something you share with other people. And they'll
Right.
usually do it when they are just trying to look more and more like the victim in the
Mm.
relationship. Their
Right.
their fear is someday you will leave them. They're
Right.
preparing all of this future sympathy in the minds of other people by sharing with them all the little negative things that and they'll fabricate it. They'll make up a story even. They'll lie just to get
Right.
other people on their side before something happens.
So I wanted to go back to something you said about them having someone else, or maybe they're like acting all, you're getting tired of the behavior. You're about almost done and you're getting fed up and their eyes are somewhere else. Is it in their best interest to maybe get their exit now while their eyes are on someone else
Well,
so that they don't get violent? Because maybe if that person is a violent or because sometimes those narcissists can get really scary. They can yell really loud. They can start throwing things, breaking things, threatening to break stuff and,
mm-hmm.
Start taking things and doing weird stuff that gets scary.
Right.
But if you maybe know, because I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, Karen. I don't know about other people want to admit, but you kind of know when they're already out there messing around, and it's just a matter of accepting the reality of what it is and choosing not to be blind to it. There's
Right.
always clues. There's always clues, right? So you see those clues, and you're like, okay, maybe instead of making this a thing where it's going to be another argument, it's going to be a clashing back and forth. He's going to be, or she's going to be calling me names, calling me out. Maybe in the narcissist mind, they'll be more willing to let you go if they already have another prospect in mind. Or
Right.
what are
Well,
your thoughts
I think
on
in
that?
every situation it would be different. Like if you have a situation where she's afraid to leave because there's kids involved
Yeah.
and that's been holding her back and finances have been holding her back,
Right.
and she's probably not going to move to do anything anyway. But if he's
Right.
or she has an interest in another person, it could work out that they're going to wind up deciding to be with that person and leave you, and then you haven't had to do anything with like
Ah.
leave with the kids kind of thing or whatever. So
So they leave, basically,
they
like they
could,
leave.
yeah, they could,
They
but
could.
there's no guarantees with that. That's kind of like a gamble, I guess, too. Like, is it going to be the thing that's going to end it anyway? And you save yourself a lot of heartache trying to argue your way out of the relationship because it's going to be a
Right.
hard thing. You don't have to do like an intervention and have people help you move
Right.
out because they might get violent or whatever. So you're, protected
Right.
that way. But there is no guarantee. So, and then the other question is, the person that's with the narcissist, they may love the narcissist. Now their heart is broken. And the question that they
Mhm.
have to ask themselves is, we have to forgive everybody, right? The Bible's very
Yeah.
clear on that. But
Yes.
when it comes to marital unfaithfulness, you're not held to that marriage anymore. So,
Right.
you do have the option to leave. They'll deny it unless you have physical proof, like a, picture or something. Sometimes
Yeah.
people hire
Yeah.
private detectives or whatever. So, unless you have some kind of proof that this thing is actually happening, then, you know, you're, because it could be for them, it's just a fling. They don't really care about that person. They enjoy having you. It's, I like my cake and eat it too.
Oh
So,
yeah.
you have to decide, I already know this person's having an affair. Am I willing to still be with this person when this is what they do? I think most people would say they're not.
Right.
And so then you've got to decide, okay, what's my next step? And all the things we've talked about before, having a support system,
Mhm.
going to a lawyer and asking questions about what your rights are as far as the kids go, if there's kids, the finances, all of that. So yeah, and there's so many different complexities in each situation that's different that you have to really, get the right advisors.
I truly believe God will make a way for you to be able to get through that situation. May
Mhm.
not be the prettiest, right? But
Right.
we'll get through it. You will be okay.
Mm.
And I don't want you, to feel like you have to stay there because you don't know how you're going to make it. A lot of times you're not going to know what the next step is, the next 1, 2, 3, or 4 steps of how this is going to work out if they decide to just up and leave and they're just done. And they're kind of done using me as a supply. I'm old news now, and tossed up rag they're ready to throw away. So you have to just have enough strength and self-love.
Yeah.
Let me put it that way: self-love, to be able to say, you know what, I'm not going to chase after this person. I am not going to beg this person to come back. If I got to do this by myself with my kids, or if I have to do this and I've been a homemaker for so long and hadn't had a job, I will figure it out, have to get the skills, have to lean on whatever organizations, nonprofits, shelter, whatever it is that you got to do.
Yeah.
But I want you to feel confident enough and have enough belief and faith in your situation to know that you don't have to stay and you don't have to beg, for someone to come back that's just going to continue to abuse you. Because I find that, and we've talked about this on other podcasts, when you bring them back, they're almost a whole lot worse than they were before, because now they're like, oh, so this is what she allows now, or this is what he'll allow and accept. And I was able to get away with that. So what happens is they're only going to push the envelope even further, because they're like, oh, well, she accepted that I was with like 10 women and she took me back. So now I'll probably go with 15 women. You know what I mean? It's like, it's always,
Nothing's going to change. Yeah.
Nothing's going to change. It's actually just going to get worse if they're a true full-blown narcissist, right? So, yeah. So any, last things that you want to share with the viewers?
I think what I'd like to do is just pray, because I just feel like that may be something right now that one of our listeners might need. Lord Jesus, we thank you for this time that we've been able to share some. There's so many different aspects of narcissism, so many different things that our listeners may be living through, and it may be very difficult for them and hard for them to even know what next steps to take and who to get involved. Like, if there's a good confidant or a good advisor they should hear from. I just pray that you would give wisdom to our loved ones of narcissists and help them to just meet up with the right people. Just allow there to be some divine connections that you create in their lives, so that they're able to find their way to make sense of some of this and have an idea for the next course of action. And I pray that if there's fear involved, if there's abuse involved, and somebody's been hanging on to a relationship that's very unhealthy for them, I pray that you will give them the wisdom to understand and see it for what it is. And I pray that you would also cause there to be some changes that will take place soon and very soon for this person, that they would find a place of safety and find a place that they can gain more peace in their lives. If there are children involved, I pray that you will also surround them with the right outside people that will make sure that the children stay safe, and that custody is not given to the person that is so unhealthy to have the children. And so we ask all of these things in your holy and powerful name, Lord Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Amen. I feel like whenever we air this and whenever we share this, there is someone that is going to be in the moment that is going to really need that prayer. So this has been a great episode. Thank you so much for just your wisdom and just having these engaging conversations, Karen. I feel like so many people are going to be helped. Yes. So we thank you for listening and tuning in. And remember, this is The Narcissist. I'm Asking for a Friend podcast, and I'm Tyler King. This is Karen Maldonado, and we will see you on the next episode. Take care.